Hello everyone. So in my previous video we discussed about ion toolbar in Ionic. So in this video we will be seeing about ion item. For that let's go to our Ionic framework documentation, and I have already opened the ion item page over here, and you will find this in this portion. Just scroll down and we will be able to see ion item portion, and in this the first one is ion item. So basically how the ion item looks is this. It looks something like this in iOS, and the Android view is like this. Let's see what is an item definition. So items are elements that can contain text, icons, avatars, images, inputs, and any other native or custom elements. Generally, they are placed in a list with other items. Items can be swiped, deleted, reordered, edited, and more. So, from the definition, it is clear that we can use, our items can contain text, they can contain icons, avatars, which is a type of image, then images, and for inputs, and all other natives and custom elements. So first see what are clickable items. So an item is considered clickable if it has href or button property set. So if we have used href property or button property inside our item, so it will be considered, or it is a clickable item. Then the second one is detail arrows. By default, clickable items will display a right arrow icon in iOS mode. It will be having a right arrow icon in the iOS mode. To hide the item right arrow icon or clickable items, set the detail property to false. To show the right arrow icon on an item that doesn't display it naturally, set the detail property to true. So for setting the right arrow icon, we will be using detail property, and we will be setting true or false accordingly. The next is the item placement. Previously in toolbar we have discussed about slots. So here in item as well, for item placement or alignment, we will be using slots, and we can use start and none for that. Then we have text alignment. Items left align text and add an ellipsis when text is wider than the item. So by default the text in the item is set as left, and if the text is wider than the item, then it will be adding an ellipsis for the text that is wider than the item. Then we have input highlight, that is highlight height, highlight color. Then here comes the most important portion, that is the usage part. Here it is having the Angular, JavaScript, React, and Stencil and Vue usage. So as you know that we are working with Vue, so we will be seeing the Vue usage. And the Ion toolbar has all of these uses as well. We have covered them in the previous video. So for item, we have ion item in Ionic. So let's just switch to our VS Code and see all of this item. This is basically the default item. Then we have item as button. Then we have with href property, and we have with color. So I will just copy all of this, or only this. Just copy and go to our code. Here I will be importing my ion item first, and we require a label as well, so I will be importing label also. Ion label. Then here red line is coming because we haven't used them yet. So just go to our content part and I will be using them in my content. Just paste the usage that we have copied. In the first, we are able to see the default item which just contain ion item along with ion label. Then second, we have ion item as button, that is it is clickable item. We have button inside that, and we have used click method also over here. Then we have set the anchor or href property. Then we have set some color secondary to our item. So as I will save this and move towards my browser, I am able to see a display of like this. We have a default item with a label. Then we have a button that is clickable, and here over here some errors are coming because I have used the click where it is. I have used the click method over here, but we haven't provided any script to this button click method. So next we have the anchor. It has directed me towards the Ionic framework documentation. And after that we have a secondary color item. So basically in this way ion item works with default button, then anchor and with color. After that we are having the detail arrows, that is the right arrow icon which we have discussed earlier. So just copy this usage and paste again in the content part. By mistake I have copied the template as well. We doesn't want template over here. Just save it and move towards our, so basically this is how right arrow icon looks like. And in the first one we have set the detail as false. In the first one we have set the detail property, it means it is true. In the second one we have set the detail property again, then we have set it to false. So when I click it, nothing is happening. When I click this, a button click method is started, but nothing is happening because we haven't provided any function to it. The next is the again the href property, that is we have provided link. So basically this is how a simple item and detail arrows item looks like this. Then after that we have some list items, that is how items look in the list. As we move towards our definition again, we have studied a line over here that generally items are placed in list with other items. So we will be scrolling down again, and We have used iron list over here. Inside that we have used iron items, and inside iron items we have used many inside iron list we have used many items. So I will simply copy this whole list and will go towards my VS Code again and will paste it over here to save it and move towards our browser again. This is how it looks inside a list. What we have here, first of all we have a list, then inside we have an item with simply a label, then we have set the lines property to none. This is the line, and to remove this line we have to set the lines property to none. By default it is true, so if we want it to be invisible we can set it by lines property none. Then we have provided a iron text wrap again. This is by default a CSS property of iron label. We will be covering it later. It has basically not provided ellipses, it has wrapped the text. Then after that we have used some HTML tag also along with our Ionic UI components. We can use them as well. We have used h3p. Then iron text also we can use with iron item. Then we can set the lines property to none and full. Full means it will be looking something like this. It will be from both the edges of the page, and by default it is like this. If we set none it will be looking like this. So this is how iron items are placed inside list. Then already I have discussed about the iron items line. We can set them. Let's just see what are inset lines. We have covered the example of full none. So let's just see how inset actually looks. So I will be going towards my I will be going below the list and pasting my the save it, and how it looks like. It is looking like something similar to our by default line only. Here we are able to see some errors, so we can identify the problem from here as well. Here over there it is returned that failed to resolve component iron text. It means and iron list as well. It means that I have used my iron list and text in the markup, but I haven't imported it. So I have previously said that we can use our component without importing, but it will show error in console if we do so. So to remove this errors from console, simply just go and import in the script. So here I will be importing my list first, and please make sure to use the iron components in alphabetic order. Then we have the text. I will be going towards my export as well. Iron list and my iron text. Save it, refresh and clear the console. all the errors are gone. So this is how actually an item works, simply with button, with link, with color, with detail, with lines, full, inset, and with label. So this is just the default version of an item. In the upcoming video, I will be covering about media items, then buttons in items, and icons in items, and how we can use item inputs. So thank you so much for watching this video, and stay tuned for my next video.